Hey guys, so my family and I, my wife, my daughter, we've been in a very tragic experience. So as many of you know, we were gonna go on an adventure. The plan was to sell our stuff and just go to the United States, buy a car, and pretty much travel till we're broke. Of course, not broke. It's different this time. We have a daughter. It all started really, I don't know. It felt like the right thing to do, but something in me was afraid, and I think I know now why. So we finally ended up selling everything. It went really fast, much faster than I expected. And as we finally left, as you can see in my previous video, the car was really loaded, and I didn't even have space to sit there. So I had to follow with the moto, and that's how we went. Very slow because, yeah, it was loaded. And I was following the car, and we were on the highway from Chiapas to Veracruz, from Tuxtla to Coatzacoalcos. And in the middle of the highway, I had a flat tire, and it was dark. Not many people were awake. I mean, it was late, not very late, but we could still all make it. We were gonna make it a motel in time. That was where we were gonna spend the night. But because of that flat tire, we lost so much time. We came back to the place where the mechanic was, and he ended up sleeping. And when we finally woke him up, he said he was sick. So he was really, really slow. And I think when he finished, it was already after 9 or 10, and we still had to drive like an hour and a half to the motel. But okay, we needed to do it. It was that or go back to the city where we come from, and we needed to go that way. So it made no sense to go back. But when we finally arrived at the motel, there were like these big aggressive dogs running off the terrain to us. And I was driving behind the car, so they surround the car. And I just driven a little bit further where I was safe, because I was, of course, not protected on the moto. These animals could bite me. And after all, that would be the best thing that happened. But anyways, so my wife, she didn't understand what I was doing, so she came to me and asked what's going on, and she opened the window. We were just talking, and all of a sudden, yeah, three armed men, they stop us. I mean, we were already stopped, but they threatened us. They were screaming, turn off the lights, turn off the moto, turn off the everything. And two men were surrounding me. One was at my wife and my daughter with the gun. I remember that moment. Wow, that was the worst moment of my life. I really saw everything, all our dreams. I saw it falling down. We literally had all our stuff with us. We just packed everything we had. We had everything with us. I had the two most precious things in my life with us. My wife and my daughter. We were so vulnerable. These guys were armed. There was nothing we could do. We needed to listen to them. They said they were police. They said they were looking for drugs. But they were not dressed like police. They had like a buff and a hoodie, and we just saw their eyes. They were really mad and aggressive. They were really threatening us. And we needed to follow them. We needed to follow them.
Yeah, but also after they say they are from police, they also say they uh, are part of a criminal organization in Mexico, and this criminal organization, yeah, is really famous and big in Mexico.
The cartel group, yeah.
Was really scary.
Yeah, it was really scary because they said we were with the police, but our real boss, I think they even mentioned the name of our boss, but I don't remember what it was. I was in complete shock, and the only thing I could think of was, we need to get out of here. I don't know how, but we need to get out of here. And they were obviously looking for money, right? So they said she have to get out of the car, stop the moto, leave it here. They start, how you say that, like checking us. And they like armas, drogas, arms, drugs.
They took our IDs, our passports, everything out of the car, laptops back. Yeah.
and it was really raining. Everything was so wet, and they lead us to a lost train track. I mean, lost, like, you know, it was really in the nothing, full of mosquitoes. I remember we had to sit there. Our daughter get really literally eaten alive by the mosquitoes, and they start asking questions, a lot of questions, you know, like, give you all your stuff, give your phone, open your phone with a gun to your head, you know, open your phone. So yeah, we need to listen. They were threatening us to hurt our daughter if we didn't listen to them, to hurt my family if I didn't listen to them. And they took everything we had. They opened their banking apps. They said, like, come on, open it for me. And they transferred the money to their own banks. Well, I had all my stuff with me. So I had like a brick of gold in my bag. And they found that. And yeah,
All our savings.
yeah, all our savings, all our cash, everything. It was really, really terrible. So I ended up giving them more gold, just everything, so they would leave my girls alone. And well, of course, they accepted it. They were looking for money. We lost a lot of money, but I really wish that was all that happened. I did everything just so they would leave my family alone. It was really weird. It was like I wasn't there. Everything, it's hard to explain, but moved by the spirit, as they say. It just went through me, but it wasn't enough. They didn't let us go. I gave them everything I had, but they didn't let us go. They ended up doing terrible stuff to us. Things that I would want nobody to happen to. They let us go after all, but yeah, it wasn't without scars, as they say. Yeah, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, by far.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was tragic. I don't know what I can say about this because this is still really soon. So we don't talk too much about more details because it still hurts. Like my husband say, even when we gave everything we have, everything we had in that moment, they still do terrible things against us. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for these kind of people, it's never enough, you know. I was, I was somewhere surprised that they let us go after all. But they were saying stuff, you know. When we were sitting there, they were talking about killing us. Yeah, they were together, slowly, softly whispering about killing us. And then one dude said something like, well, what are we gonna do? We have to kill them because, you know, there's evidence. And then the other guy said something like, well, the Wero, that's not good, that's gonna be news. And we have already enough problems with the police. The country is probably gonna search the area. Not like it matters for these people because they're in the government. They really let us make videos about ourselves where we explain our names, our address, our day of birth. We had to say that with a gun to our heads. Yeah, man, this is the first time I can really talk about it before I would really start crying. I finally, I think, accepted it, give it the space, give it the spot in my life. Yeah, it was really terrible. And they said stuff like, you're in the system, we are with the police. They had also really, I believe them, the way they were acting and the questions they were asking and the material that they had, you know, like there was really things that police have and they were kind of professional. This was an organized crime. You saw that. I don't want to say the name of their group yet, and I don't want to give more details about what happened yet because it's still way too sensitive. And that maybe we'll do that later, but first we need to make sure that we are safe. Well, we made it in USA now. That's the only reason why we now post these videos, because otherwise we wouldn't even do that. Because they are really, yeah, they have a big terrain in Mexico. They apparently are in the top 5, I think, biggest cartel groups. So they have a lot of government power and stuff like that. First, we didn't even dare to go to the police, but we did it after all. Also, we needed to do it for insurance. At least a little part of the money should be refunded by insurance. But yeah, you know, insurance is going to take a long time and it's never going to be what we lost. It's going to be far away because Like for example, the gold. I cannot prove anything about that. I'm not insured on that. So, but yeah, like I said, I wish it was only that. I really wish it was only that. They did terrible things to us. The only thing I'm really grateful of is that they didn't touch her daughter. That's one thing they didn't do, and that's also a thing. If they did, then I would be dead for sure, and my wife too, because we would never let that happen. That's impossible. Our little girl, look at her. But after all, we decided to continue our trip, even though we had this tragic experience. The biggest reason why we do that is because we don't want to let them decide what we do with our lives. And there is one thing I'm really grateful about and really happy about, and that is that I have crypto. And that's the only reason why we even made it in the United States. Otherwise, we will never be here, because they really took everything till the last fucking peso. No, that's not true. I had 2 pesos on my account. That's it. I think they were just too lazy to put the amount. And they just send it to their accounts, you know? We can see the name, everything. We can just see these details. But they say, well, if you do anything, if you go to the police, next time it's gonna be much worse. The only reason why they let us live is because they didn't want to have more troubles with the police. And yeah, we paid them a lot of fucking money. And not only money, we paid them with other stuff as well, but that's something we're gonna keep for ourselves. At least for now. It's way too sensitive. And I'm mad, you know, like intensively mad. Not only because of what they done, but what they could have done and what they wanted to do. I'm also really sad, like deeply sad, because my family, my loving family, get touched by hands who know nothing about love. On the other hand, I'm grateful and I'm still happy. We are happy because we choose to be happy. Because we're not gonna let them decide how we feel. And we're alive and we still have each other. That's the most important thing. And I never even realized how important that was until this experience happened. It's sad that things like that need to happen for us sometimes to realize certain things. But yet I'm happy we have each other. We are unharmed in some way at least. And we're alive. And we have a new start. We can start again. We can do this again. Together.
Yeah. Together with Olivia.
Yeah, with the little thing, but she's always playing, hey. Olivia, come.